there's kind of two paths you can take. There is the onset sort of route, being a part of productions, a bit harder to get your foot in the door that way. Or there is kind of the vendor route where you start out as an artist and you work your way up at vendors. I went with the onset route, and I have spent time working at vendors. I spent a little time at Scanline. For me, I think it is important to spend time at a vendor if you want to, if your goal is to become a VFX supervisor, production side. You ultimately need to spend a little time at a vendor before you can get there, because if you're a VFX supervisor production side, you're going to be in charge of VFX supervisors at vendors and teams there. So you do need to have some of that experience. So I think the more traditional route is to spend anywhere from 5 to 10, maybe even 15 years at a vendor, working your way up, starting as a comp artist, whether it's 2D, 3D, whatever your passion is, choosing a route and working your way up at a vendor and getting more and more experience there. But the hard thing is, at a certain point, you're going to have to, if you want to be production side, you need to get that onset experience. And I think the really hard thing is if you spend that 10 to 15 years and your vendor you work at doesn't have the opportunities to send you to set, which oftentimes there's not a lot of opportunities for that. It's a very hard thing, because then I think you almost have to do what I did, where you step back and you take a role as a PA or maybe as an assistant chord or something that lets you be on a project production side for the whole thing. And that's really hard. When you get used to a certain lifestyle, I think making that transition is hard. So at some point there's that sacrifice to be made. So that's the one route. And that's just, getting your portfolio together, working on your artistry, starting to apply to vendors, and whether you might have to do an internship for a little while at a smaller boutique company, so that then you can get to one of the bigger vendors and then work your way up. That's definitely a route. If you want to risk it like I did and try to do this lucky route of getting where I've gotten, you can certainly go more production side. And like you said, maybe it's not luck, hard work, and you can do a lot of hard work either way. Production side is definitely a very difficult route to make your way up. I do think it's very possible to work your way up if you start as a PA on any department, whether or not it's visual effects, and slowly work your way and find a visual effects team on postings, job postings. They are out there online. If you search, they will pop up. You can do that and work your way up to a wrangler. It is possible to make the jump from wrangler to onset supervisor. I do think that can come with just enough experience as a wrangler and finding people that really trust you and showing them you work hard. But if you really want to transition to being a full-time supervisor that is doing prep, shoot, and post, a lead supervisor, I do think you need some vendor experience. Or the way I went is getting this education. And at CG Spectrum, that enabled me to, because I hadn't had vendor experience at that point, it gave me enough of that experience. I also bought textbooks that I could find, and they talked more about pipeline things at vendors. So I really tried to study what did I miss at a vendor, and it made me a lot more useful, because a lot of times wranglers, for instance, they don't know why they're capturing textures. They don't know why they're capturing photogrammetry. They know, yes, photogrammetry creates 3D models, but until you've been an artist yourself and you've tried taking photos and building these things, you don't understand that. So I think definitely having some sort of education on whether it's then transitioning after being a wrangler to 5-10 years at a vendor to get that experience, or doing something online and then helping finding someone to mentor you. There are a couple of routes to do it, but I think either way, you just got to get started, whether it's starting doing your artistry, like I said, in a portfolio, or just hopping on projects as a PA. Kind of choose your route and choose which seems more appealing to you. Both of them are going to take at least 10 years before you're, in a position where you're higher up that you might dream about having. It might even take you 20 or 30 years. But it's a really fun journey, and you get to be a part of some amazing projects and talk to some really cool people. So either route is fun and exciting.